On this episode, we talk about fan fiction, faith in your work, and a 14-year-old who's breaking into the world stage. Hey everybody, and welcome to Finish Friday, the show that helps more creative people change more lives. I am your host, Todd B. from Tennessee, and I made this show because on a scale of 1 to cooking eggs that are not scrambled, creating things is hard, and finishing those things is even harder. I don't know what it is. I put the egg in the skillet, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a fried egg for sure, 100%. And then I flip it and it all just goes to crap, man. And so eventually I just stab them up. Scrambled eggs are just as good as any other eggs, right? All right, listen guys, I'm coming to Craft Content, a conference in Nashville, April 8th. If you are anywhere within 2 hours of Nashville, I need you to come to this thing and come show me some love. It's gonna be a great event. There's some great speakers, guys who will talk about, and ladies, who will talk about the how to build your creative work up from nothing. I'm more of a why guy, if you haven't noticed. I can inspire you, I can motivate you, and I have a little bit of how on the side, but there's gonna be some very practical stuff at this conference. Is going to be worth coming to. I will put the link and I expect to see you there. And for now, let's get into today's topic. This mug definitely breaks the illusion that I have coffee in my mugs. I have a coffee curfew. You guys didn't know that. It's actually 2 o'clock. I'm filming this at noon, so getting close, but I typically don't have coffee after 8 in the morning, even though I want it real bad. Listen, last week, I want to go a little deeper into the topic we talked about, getting paid, right? Getting paid for the work that you have done, not necessarily the work that you are doing. And I want to give you a very tangible example of my own life, how this played out for me. And a lot of times, we think it's just our creative stuff, right? We think, oh, okay, I have to be faithful in my side project and then I'll see the results over there. But you can also bring that back into your full-time job for those of you who have real work. In my life, here's what happened. I got a big boy job. I got a corporate job, did the responsible thing, and got a job as a technical writer. And it was so boring. I literally thought that I might jump out the 3rd story window. And so what happened was I started looking for opportunities to create, right? To help out other teams. What I did specifically was meet everyone I possibly could. And I had someone there I knew already really well. I noticed that they had a gap in what they were trying to do. And you know what I did? I didn't try to sell them. I didn't try to negotiate a position over on that team. What I did was make them a video. And I called her into my room and I said, hey, I have this thing I want to show you. I think you're going to think it's really cool. And she watched it for 2 minutes it was. And she said, did you make that? And I said, yeah, I made that. She said, while you were at work? I said, no, I made it in my spare time. 2 months later, I had a new job, a new boss, a new desk, and I was making a lot more money. Listen, we could put a lot of pressure on ourselves in the wild, wild web because we think we have to be better than everyone, better than everything. But if you take the tactics and look around your local circumstances and see where you can fill gaps, even if it's not the best thing in the world, if you're just giving someone a +1, that's doing work that you will get paid for. Listen, and they don't have to invite you to do that. No one has to give you permission to improve the lives of someone else around you. So you want to get paid, you want to do this stuff, you always are tempted to sell yourself first, and it's no, you give first. You make the thing first. You have to get people to feel the potential of what you can do, and then they will be glad to have you on board. Today's question of the day is, as always, sponsored by my book, The Creative's Curse. And the framework in there is the 3 phases every successful person goes through. That's the topic I'll be bringing to craft content. So if you want a little preview of the book, you'll definitely have to come see me. And I break that further down in the book. It's a good read. It's available on Audible and on Kindle, depending on how attracted you are to my incredible voice here. Today's question comes from Jahanzeb Kazir, and Jahanzeb says, would you recommend fiction writers to write fan fiction? Oh boy. See, I see what happens when you say you should cover stuff. I talked to musicians last week about covering things to get publicity, and now this is the question that comes in. Guys, my answer is going to surprise you. Yes. Yes, I think if you're a fiction writer, you should write fan fiction for 2 reasons. 1, we're seeing the segmentation of what we love and what we like more so than ever before. Meaning that if you think Draco Malfoy is the best character in Harry Potter, you can go and find a world of fan fiction where Draco goes on to like save the Harry Potter universe, right? You can find these interests. And so you can kind of create this little community of people just like you and who want to see you succeed. Now, are they going to go from your fan fiction stuff to your real stuff? Honestly, if you're taking the time to do what we talk about and be a human being, I think so, because they will fall in love with you more than they fall in love with the characters they like in the first place. The second reason I would write fan fiction is because writing fiction is hard. There are so many things that go on. You know, you have to characterize every single person that comes into your manuscript. You have to build a plot that makes sense. You have to have positive and negative turns so that it feels like a good book. You have all these different things to think about. And so what fan fiction does, especially if you've never written before, is it offers you the ability to kind of take these characters and take these scenarios and all this previously established baggage, I guess, and use that in your own story. And what you can do then is develop your storytelling muscle and not have to worry so much about the exposition and getting your audience to know the characters. You can build that eventually, but I really like the opportunity that fan fiction offers because of that ability to grow as a writer without feeling so overwhelmed. Fan fiction? Yes. Today's artist spotlight falls on Trinity Rose. Now Trinity, I randomly stumbled upon her. She shared my blog over the weekend and I get to looking into her, and she is 14 years old now and was on The Voice. So I don't know how far, she can't say how far she goes in the rounds or anything like that, but she debuted on The Voice. And the thing that sticks out to me about Trinity is just her complete fearlessness. I mean, you guys, we talk about this all the time, and this is a big thing. I want to take a minute and slow it down, and you guys listen to this very closely. The number one thing that an artist needs to have is fearlessness, because whenever you're creating your art, what you're doing is you're stepping forward in faith every single day to say, here's my truth to the world. And that's what you're doing. You're having faith that someone will accept you for who you are. And the deal is, when you're an artist, that never happens. People knock it down and knock it down and knock it down and knock it down and knock it down until finally you're mainstream culture. And then they say, oh yeah, I've always liked that person. And that's what happens when you're an artist. So shout out to Trinity for being completely fearless in her youth. You go, girl. We might do an interview. I hope to get a little bit more time with her and unpack her story for all you guys. So check out her YouTube channel. I'll link it down below, of course. And that is it. I felt like a tight show. Thank you guys, as always, for coming along. Question of the week, not question of the week. Ask the audience, are you coming to Craft Content in Nashville, April 8th? I speak at 10:45 a.m. and I want to see you there. Leave, even if it's yes or no, leave your response in the comments down below. I would love to get a feel for who to look for. And that's it. Have an awesome Friday. Again, I'm Todd B from Tennessee, and I will talk with you soon. From your roommate back in Boulder, we ain't ever getting older.